Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into a massive milestone, day 60. This is that fascinating pivot from the intense phase of pure learning and coding right into the thrilling phase of active job hunting. We're going to unpack exactly what the final deliverables of a Capstone project actually look like and how they form the ultimate launchpad for your professional career. Think about it. The late nights have been put in, the bugs are finally conquered, and you've built something absolutely incredible. But, and this is a big but, having great code just sitting on your local machine, it just isn't enough to get hired.
Which brings us to a really pivotal question. You've built the skills. Now what? Seriously, for the last couple of months, your main audience has been your instructors, your peers, and, well, the compiler. But starting today, that audience changes entirely. We're now talking to recruiters, hiring managers, and potential freelance clients. The rules of engagement are totally different now, and the way you present your work absolutely has to evolve.
Okay, let's dive into this. A career launch isn't just spamming out a bunch of resumes and crossing your fingers. Actually, it's the strategic transformation of educational deliverables into professional assets. Basically, this means taking what you built as a student and repackaging, refining, and presenting it as the work of a highly capable professional. You're no longer just turning in homework, right? You're proving your commercial value to the actual market.
So, here's our battle plan for this explainer. First, proving your technical chops. Then, building your professional brand. Next, entering the job market. And finally, your ultimate career launch. Let's get right to it.
Section 1. Proving your technical chops. Let's look at the big picture here and see how all this builds a complete bridge to the industry. Try to think of this transition in 3 distinct phases. Step 1 is building the engine. That's your technical proof. Step 2 is building the showroom, your brand and how you display that engine. And step 3 is stepping into the arena, which is your active market engagement. Look, if you have a massive engine but no showroom, nobody's going to know how powerful it is. And if you have a gorgeous showroom but no engine underneath, well, then you've just got a very expensive paperweight. You absolutely need all 3. So let's look at the specific deliverables that actually make up that engine. From our source material, there are 4 key components. First up, the complete Capstone demonstration. Your application has to work smoothly, front to back. Second, professional documentation. Guys, this is what separates an amateur from a total pro. Can another developer read your README file and instantly understand how to install and run your project? Fun fact, a lot of hiring managers check your README before they even glance at a single line of your code. Third is your GitHub repository. Your commit history should be clean, code well-structured, branches organized. And fourth, a technical presentation. This is your ability to talk about architecture choices, the challenges you faced, and how you solve them, speaking the exact language of a true developer. So the crucial point here is that these 4 elements combined form your engine. They serve as undeniable, objective proof that your code works and that you've got the hard skills required for the job. When a senior engineer at a tech company decides to dig into your background, this is exactly what they're looking for. They don't just want to see a pretty interface. They want to pop the hood, look at your GitHub, read your documentation, and see exactly how you think. And this brilliantly illustrates that necessary pivot. On one hand, we have the raw technical reality of the GitHub repository, the engine that appeals directly to your fellow engineers. And we contrast that with the portfolio website, your polished showroom display. A recruiter or an HR manager might not know how to read source code, but they absolutely know how to read a clean, beautifully designed portfolio website. Your complex technical reality has to be translated into a highly marketable professional story.
Section 2. Building your professional brand.
To build this showroom, the Day 60 milestone lays out 3 distinct deliverables. First, the portfolio website. This is your personal real estate on the internet. It should highlight your Capstone project prominently, showing off the exact problem it solves and the tech stack you used. Second, a LinkedIn showcase. Look, your LinkedIn profile just can't be a digital version of your old jobs anymore. It needs a total overhaul to highlight your new technical capabilities, featuring your Capstone video demonstration and networking with industry peers. And finally, the resume. This needs to be laser-focused, formatted perfectly for applicant tracking systems, or ATS, and has to translate your recent intensive project work into solid, impactful bullet points. While the previous phase was all about proving the code actually works, this phase, the showroom, is all about marketing the human behind the code. Because let's face it, companies don't just hire code, do they? No, they hire teammates, problem solvers, and communicators. Your portfolio, your LinkedIn, and your resume all work together to tell the story of who you are as a professional. They highlight your communication skills, your design sensibilities, and your overall professional maturity.
This is exactly where a candidate becomes irresistible to a hiring manager.
Section 3, entering the job market.
The final 2 deliverables of the day's 60 milestone are all about pushing you out of the nest. First, creating freelance service listings on platforms like Upwork or Fiverr. Now, you might be wondering, why is this so crucial? Well, because it forces you to package your skills into a tangible service that someone can buy right now. It tests your ability to write a compelling pitch and properly scope out work. Even if your ultimate end goal is a full-time corporate gig, setting up a freelance profile forces you to think like a business owner pitching a service. Second, mock interview practice. Your journey has to be vocalized. Practicing behavioral questions and whiteboarding technical problems under pressure, that ensures that when the real interview comes, you aren't stumbling over your words. Now, what's really interesting about this concept is that setting up freelance listings and doing mock interviews aren't just little checkbox assignments. They're active, real-world market engagements. Think of them as your final dress rehearsal before you hit the main stage. By putting yourself out there on a freelance marketplace, you're actively participating in the tech economy. And by doing mock interviews, you're experiencing the adrenaline and the high stakes of a real technical grilling, but in a safe environment where you can actually get feedback and iterate. Section 4, your final career launch. 9. That is the magic number of deliverables we've covered in this explainer. From the complete Capstone demo, the professional documentation, the GitHub, and the technical presentation that prove your hard skills, all the way to the portfolio, LinkedIn, and resume that market your brand, and finally, the freelance listings and mock interviews that push you right out into the market. You know, these aren't just 9 random tasks. They form one single, interconnected master key. If literally any one of these 9 is missing, your whole launch sequence is compromised. But when all 9 are fully locked in and polished, you become a totally formidable candidate. So your toolkit is completely ready. The engine is roaring, the showroom is gleaming, and the arena is waiting for you. The only question left is, where will you choose to launch? And honestly, more importantly, what are you going to build once you get there? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Now get out there and start launching.